Hey guys, in this video I want to talk about the zero product property. Now the zero product property is something that we use to solve quadratics when we have this form, so a factored form, two things being multiplied together. So a factored form, we can use something called the zero product property to find, to solve if this equals 0. So find the zeros of the function means that f of x equals 0. So another way I can write this is instead of f of x here, I can write that this equals 0. So if two things multiplied together equals 0, then I can use the zero product property. Basically, the idea behind the zero product property is that anything times 0 is 0, right? Doesn't matter what number this is, anything times 0 is 0. So if I can get either of these to equal 0, then the whole thing will equal 0. So if x minus 3 is 0, then when I multiply it by whatever this is, I'm going to get 0. If 2x minus 8 is 0, then when I multiply it by whatever this is, I'm going to get 0. So I can split this up into two different equations that I know how to solve. I can split it up into x minus 3 equals 0 and 2x minus 8 equals 0. Because if either of these things are true, then the whole thing will be 0. That is the zero product property. So now I have two linear equations that we know how to solve, right? All I have to do here is add 3 to both sides. So x equals 3. And here I add 8 to both sides. I get 2x equals 8. Divide both sides by 2. And I get x equals 4. So I have two solutions, 3 and 4. So just like in the last section we talked about solving quadratics using square roots, I always had two answers. This is still technically a quadratic because if I multiplied this out, I would have 2x squared in the front. That would be my first term. So this is still a quadratic, so I'm still going to have two answers. So these are going to be my two answers. And so I would just put the 3 here and the 4 here. And so that is how this is going to work. Zero product property basically says since when I multiply anything times 0, I get 0, then I can split this up. As long as it equals 0, I can split this up into two different equations, solve those, and both of those answers will be true. That is zero product property. So this would be the same deal. I would say 7 minus x equals 0, solve that. Negative 4x minus 2 equals 0, solve that. Put in my answers. All right. So that is zero product property. So in the next video, I'm going to be talking about how we can use that for another type of equation. So this was a very narrow type of equation, right? I had to have two things multiplied together in order to use this. So in the next video, I'll talk about how we can use it in a more general way. So let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video.